I want to talk a little bit about what I call boilerplates. There's certain things that you want to do in every induction because it's going to help, right? Let's imagine this, for example. You know, in hypnosis, people are pretty much a little bit more suggestible, so what you say will have more of an impact, right? How about, rather than spending an hour trying to get a person in trance, you suggest that next time, you won't take an hour, just take a couple of minutes. Wouldn't that make your life a bit easier? Right? And you'll notice that from time to time, you know, unforeseen events happen, like, you know, someone's phone rings or all kinds of things like that, right? So there's certain events that you want to basically guard for in hypnosis. And let's face it, we're not going to be in ideal circumstances all the time. We're not going to have a nice quiet room like this, where there are no ambulances outside, no phones going off, and things like that, you know. It's not going to happen in the real world. So how do you deal with that? How do you avoid the distraction that these things might bring? So here we have what I call the boilerplates. I'll just put BP. This is not a petrol company, this is boilerplates. And by boilerplates, that's actually just a legal term for things that you put into every contract. It's a standard term, right? So the kind of boilerplates we're going to start playing with are, let's do the first three, and we'll add some more later on. We'll come back to that in a second. So these are the first set of boilerplates. We'll have a second set, which we'll talk about later. The sounds around you and my voice are basically two key things you want to put in as soon as possible at the beginning of an induction so that you keep in touch with the person. Those are the two key things that might lose a person during induction. Number one is a distracting sound from the outside, which disturbs them and hence disturbs the whole trance process. And the other one is they're enjoying the process so much they go spinning off into space and they lose touch with you. That's typically when people start doing the whole snoring and sleeping thing, which is not good. So you want to make sure that you have you keep in touch with the client and that sounds around them don't disturb them. Now you don't have to spend 2 hours suggesting the perfect and most watertight, you know, conditions for them to, you know, not go into hypnosis with sounds around them and stuff like that. All it takes is exactly the same process we had here, which is associate one thing to another. If sounds were associated to distractions, you now associate sounds to what? Relaxation, more focus, deeper trance, whatever you want. Now, whatever noises come will actually augment the experience. So you can say something like, you know, and from time to time, you might hear sounds around you. You know, and you'll list them, like the traffic noises outside, the hum of the lights, people shuffling around. I'd like you to realize that these sounds are going to help you relax so much more comfortably, help you focus into this experience. And this is, isn't it? Very good. So now sounds become your allies. The same is true of your voice. You can use your voice as a deepener. The sound of my voice will help you go deeper. And, this is an important bit, the sound you will, sorry again. The sound of my voice will follow you wherever you go. Or you can say, the sound of my voice and the meaning behind them will follow you wherever you go. Why do you want that? Because in case their mind starts wandering somewhere, you're still in touch with them and they can carry on following the instructions. So it doesn't take very long. You can take less than a minute to do the boilerplates, but it's something that you stick in there to make sure that everything starts going well. So you do the whole close your eyes and go into hypnosis. Every time you touch, you go deeper and deeper, and I'd like you to realize that as you go deeper, from time to time you hear sounds around you. The noise of the hum of the lights, the shuffling of people talking in the background. I'd like you to realize that these sounds are going to help you focus even more, so you get even more out of this experience. Now the sound of my voice is going to have a special effect, because my voice is going to help you go deeper and you're going to continue to hear my voice. It's going to go with you wherever you go. And the meaning behind that will follow you. So now, go deeper, deeper, deeper still. See how that works? Did that take long? No. Go ahead, Gloria.
Do you encourage to have a background music for your hypnosis?
Personally, I don't like it. And the only reason I say that is because everyone has different taste. So you might love classical, and then one day the rocker comes in and goes, what is this? Or the more typical kind, you might love space whale music, and then the banker comes in and goes, what the hell have I done here, Do I start having to pray to the Buddha? I'm not feeling comfortable with this. So if your clientele, if you focus on a particular niche clientele, for example, let's say you live in a kind of new agey community, by all means knock yourself out. If those are your clients and those are their tastes, use it. And if you go for a broader range of clients, everything from a banker to a school kid to a new age hippie, then my preference is to avoid music because you never know what's going to come through. Plus, I also find that sometimes hypnotherapists try to use music, incense, and chanting or whatever as an excuse because I don't think that they can do it on their own. You can do a great job with just your voice and nothing else. You don't need anything else. But use it. If you want to use it, by all means do so. Does that answer your question?
My clients don't like it.
Say again?
My clients don't like it.
They don't like music? Then don't use it. Seriously. I want the condition to be as perfect as I can to get the best result. And, some clients actually ask for it, and if I happen to have some, sure, I'll throw some space whales on. Knock yourself out. Do you kind of get that where we're coming from? We're just creating the conditions that people... And by the way, this is also, it reminds me of, you had all those mind machines, like blinking lights and sounds that change your brain state. Again, when I first started and I was very unsure of myself and had, shall we say, not the best hypnotic skills, I spent a stupid amount of money on this big board with, you could plug 4 pairs of glasses in and sounds, and you could have a microphone so you could talk through it and they could hear it all intimately. And to be honest with you, the reason I did that is because, if I'm honest with myself, I felt I couldn't put people in trance. So I thought the machine would do it for me. You don't need that. You've had plenty of experiences here that you can do this work. This is what gets people into hypnosis. It's not a machine, it's not a music, it's not some magic incense. Maybe it's a mushroom, but we don't want to go that kind of... Do you see what I'm heading at? Trust in yourself, trust in what you can do as an individual, because you have all the skills you need, all the tools, even now. And we haven't even got into the therapeutic part yet, right? So you ready for an exercise? Yeah. So we're going to start with the 10-second hypnotist, but we're going to start expanding it now. It's going to start taking longer, 20 or 30 seconds now, maybe 40 seconds. And the reason we're going to expand it is we'll start with the H+. We're going to use our hypnotic themes, all of these, together with all of those, to enrich the experience. And then on top of that, we're going to make sure that somewhere in the beginning, somewhere in the deepening phase, so that's stage 2, you have a sentence or two about that. Don't make it long, because you'd rather spend time doing the work than preparing yourself to do the work, right? So do it quick, make sure they understand, make sure they accept, and then move on. And then carry on doing the exact same thing you did before. Does that sound straightforward to you? Now, because this is practice, we're going to go into doing this a little bit more like speed hypnosis, right? So just take a couple of minutes a pace, and I'll swap partners. So we're going to give you, how long before lunch? Okay, so we're going to give you 10 minutes to do, maybe if you do 10 minutes, one or 2 minutes a piece, that means you can get 3 or 4 things done, go through 3 or 4 partners, doing it both ways. Does that sound fair to you guys? I will not give you timings until we finish the whole piece, so I recommend that you keep yourself to your own timings so you can get more work done. The more people you do this with, the better. So it's not about how long you can do it. Right now is how often can you do it. That's going to serve you much better. Make sense to you guys? Do you know what you're doing? We're going to add these things into the 10-second hypnotist somewhere along this point here, somewhere in this point here, and remember in here you got to carry on doing the whole learning and mastering suggestions. Make sense? Fine part. Oh, go on a sec, Rashid. We'll come back to that later. I'm not going to add that just yet. Off you go, guys. It doesn't take very long to do these boilerplates. There's whole bits around the induction. And one of the big things that I had to learn was I used to be so afraid of hypnosis that I spent like 45 minutes putting people in trance just to be sure they were there. Then I'd have like 5 minutes left to do the actual work. It's like, oh, damn it. It doesn't take very long to get them to where you want to be. And the boilerplates are great things because they take care of the biggest problems that you might come across. So you may as well use them everywhere. But you don't again have to go to town on them. You just have to do enough that people get what is going on, and then you move on. Simple, right? So this, number 3, boilerplate number 3, sometimes known as safety, sometimes as sanctuary. What do you think that's all about? Yeah. You're right. All right, let me rephrase the question. Why would you want someone to feel safe? What's the value of that? Thank you. Okay? So if you get an abreaction or basically any negative experience, you may want to take them to a place of safety to get them out of that. So you may as well set up ahead of time. Now, traditionally, the way people set up safety is to spend 2 hours going to this hyper-involved beach scene with yachts and bikini-clad whatever. Actually, that's my place of safety. But you know, it takes a long time. And again, if you're spending too long building a place of safety, when do you have time to actually do the work, right? This is, by the way, why some therapists take like 5 or 6 sessions before they actually start tackling the problem, because they get very meticulous, building all this in between. And there are times when that's appropriate, but for the most times, all you do for safety is to create, again, what? An association. You create the place of safety before anything negative has happened, so that you have something already associated, ready to go back to. Now, here's a hint. Most of the clients you'll be working with will not be standing up, and they'll probably won't be lying down. They'll be doing what you're doing right now, which is sitting. So why not use that as your place of safety? Everyone, go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. I'd like you to realize that you had all kinds of experiences in here, and that you are safe, because those have been pleasant, positive, life-enhancing experiences. And as you realize that, notice the sensation of your back touching the chair. Just feel the chair and know you are safe. Feel the chair and know you are safe. Anytime you become aware of the sensation of the chair touching your body, you will know you are safe in this room. When you're ready, bring yourself back. How long did that take? Believe it or not, it actually took longer than it should have done, purely because I didn't do the whole trancing ahead of time. If you're doing a little trance thing, they're already feeling good. They're already feeling kind of relaxed and pleasant, so you already have something to associate. I had to take a little time to give you something worth associating to sitting on the chair. And that's what happens whenever you think about the chair. Feels good, doesn't it? Just become aware of different parts of your body, and it feels better. It's as simple as that. Now, why do we do this? Now, who knows what I mean by an abreaction? Oh, pretty much half of you. This is good. An abreaction, this is very, very important. An abreaction is basically a strong negative emotion releasing or coming up. And traditionally, if the abreaction comes up in a context that is not appropriate for you to deal with, for example, you know, you're in a bus and you're just doing someone in a little relaxing trance and suddenly they start freaking out, going, "Ah, the monkeys are coming!" At that point, you may want to do something to pack that away, so that you're not adding fuel to the fire. If you start freaking out, going, "Oh my God, this is bad, oh, you're fucked up," right? you say that to someone whilst they're in trance, do you think that's going to likely help them improve? Or might it do a little bit of damage? So we'll go into how to deal with abreactions a little bit more fully later, but just realize the key thing is you're setting this up in case something like that happens or something unexpected happens. You can always pull them out to another place which is safe. So this is very, very important. It doesn't take long, but it's important that you make it a boilerplate. It's just as natural as saying close your eyes and go to trance, as natural as getting people to relax, as natural as using the language stuff. It's just sounds around you won't disturb you. My voice will help you go deeper and have these experiences, and feel that there you know you're safe. It's simple. It's easy, and it'll get you out of a lot of potential trouble. By the way, just so you know, other than the times when I actually looked for an abreaction as part of the therapy, which we'll talk about more on day 4, I think, I've only ever had 2 abreactions in my entire career that weren't specifically looked for, they were spontaneous. And I had one very weird reaction, but that wasn't an abreaction. So, just so you know, there's a guy who goes into trance by laughing hysterically and rolling his eyes like he's on drugs. But as soon as you stop the trance, he's fine. When he goes in, he just starts doing all this, it's bizarre. But you can still do exactly the same work with him, it's just that's how he wants to go into trance, and he seemed very happy about it. So, do you get how to do boilerplate 1, the place of safety? Yes? We'll look at abreactions a bit more later. Let's have a look at boilerplates 2. Now these are things which, again, are very, very useful to you as a hypnotist, particularly if you're seeing people more often on a longer-term basis for more sessions. So there are going to be things that you can do which will be really useful for you to do, but they're not so important that you have to do them at the beginning of the session. And the reason for that is because, if you do them at the end of the session, then if you're running out of time, you can skip these if you have to, because it's not going to destroy things. These things are more important. So the way I would normally work is put these things right at the beginning, because those set you up for a successful session. And I'll put these things in here because they set you up for a successful second, third, fourth session. Right? So what might you think, we'll put them 4 here. What kind of thing do you think might set you up for a useful next session? There you go. That's exactly it. Right. Trance response. In essence, you want 2 things in a trance response. Next time you'll go into hypnosis quicker and deeper. In other words, they'll have more of the experience and it'll happen faster, which means you'll have the ability to get them there with less time wastage and hence do your work more quickly. Right? The other thing that's very useful, and this is useful for everything you do, you've been kind of doing it in a sort of hidden format so far. You can never give enough suggestions about self-esteem. If people have self-esteem and they have full access to self-esteem, personally, I don't think they can have any problems. They can have things that they have to resolve and puzzles they have to go through. But the reason people have problems, be they behavioral or emotional, is because they don't have access to their self-esteem whilst they have the problem. Make sense? So I don't think you can ever have enough self-esteem, particularly in trance where it augments the function and it goes a little bit deeper. So as a rule, before you bring someone out, I'd really like to just go through a whole little thing about you're unique, you're great, you're a great person, you can have a great life, that sort of stuff, right? So these are generic things I like to do, and the more you do it, it can't help but help, right? See how that works? Now, do you think you can do these extra 3 things? I'm adding so much onto the plate, aren't I? You have to give them a place of safety and go into trance more quickly so the next time it's easier for you. And then they start feeling good about themselves and who they are. Is that too much to